Pamilya, welcome back to The Score. We certainly enjoyed the Skype session that we are about to have with Gretchen Ho. Gretch, we have you on the line.
Hi, Lau.
Yan.
We are live. Still here from the Subic tennis courts, and it's been intense. The action has been intense on the beach volleyball court. Typhoon Tisoy is on its way here, but we are definitely untouched. As you can see, we have BC Rondina, Bernadette Pons going up against Thailand. Radarong and Hong Sak. They almost got that first step, but they lost it to Thailand 26 to 24. Yes, that's how far it went. And definitely, and we got a jam-packed crowd over here. They're all unaffected by the threat of the typhoon. And one of the people that we have here to talk to us, Coach Dolo, Coach Paul Jan Doloiras, head coach of the women's team. Coach, ano bang nangyari ng first set? Ano ba kailangan natin gawin para matalo?
Hindi tayo naka-adjust yung first set ng pagka-end game, pero ginagawa naman lahat ng mga players natin yung makakaya nila para matalo itong super lakas na Thailand na ito.
Coach, napansin ko no na talagang dumikit kayo. Kaya natin matalo ito. Medyo nagka-error lang tayo ng dulo. Ano ba yung sinabi niyo sa girls pag pumasok sa laro?
Ang kagabi na gano'n lang kami. Mga mental toughness kami talagang inano lang namin na itong laro na ito yung hindi na makakalimutan araw at yung imposible na pwedeng mangyari sa amin ngayong ano. Kaya excited sila ngayon na talunin itong Thailand na ito.
Thank you so much. And again, the girls, they've beaten Malaysia. They've beaten Vietnam the other day. They have 2 wins. They lost against Indonesia. If they win this one, they will emerge at number 2. So it's quite a big game. We all know that Thailand is a powerhouse when it comes to volleyball. And the fact that we are very, very close to them. Take a look at the crowd. We got a full crowd over here. Everybody's enjoying the game. So please stay tuned to social media, and we will definitely be updating you on how the girls will fare. After this, we have Hervasio and Rodriguez, who came off their first win yesterday against Malaysia. Something to watch out for. Back to you, Lau.
Hi, Gretch. Yes, thanks for that update. By the way, we've been following you on Twitter, and we see that you've been updating us on the Typhoon Tisoy PH. Apparently, from what we've heard, it's been hitting Subic, but from what I see, you guys aren't feeling any rain there or any wind.
Wala naman. Wala. Hindi umuulan. Kanina medyo umaambon-ambon, pero ngayon ito umaambon-ambon pa din, pero kasi sa beach volleyball, we are very used to playing under the rain. Rain or shine, we continue on with the game. Pwera na lang kung kumidlat, at pwera na lang kung sobrang lakas ng ulan na wala ka nang makita sa court. So, again, rain or shine, tuloy ang laro. Although, the games will only be until this morning. All of the afternoon games have been compressed to the morning for safety and security. Abangan po ninyo din kung may revised schedules. That's on my Twitter account at Gretchen Ho. Maraming salamat, Lau.
Alright. Maraming salamat, Gretchen. Thanks for that update. Coach Meeks, I remember we talked to some SEA Games officials earlier, and even though SEA Games ends on December 12, and even though there have been cancellations because of the typhoon, we will not be extending beyond December 12.
That's correct. FISCOC CEO Tat Suzara said yesterday in the press conference right after the men's volleyball match of the Philippines, sinabi niya na all the contingency measures are ready. Event organizers are they're coordinating with them. So for as long as an event can continue like what we just saw in Subic, kung hindi naman apektado ng panahon, ng masamang panahon, and there is no threat to the safety of both athletes and spectators, then itutuloy.
The games must go on.
Kasi nga, and Tats Suzara reiterated this, there is no extension of the SEA Games. If the SEA Games will end December 11, it will end December 11, and they will just have to find ways to move
the schedules around, move afternoon games to the morning.
Para nakita natin sa nangyayari sa beach volleyball, natatapusin nila right before noon today. Okay, moving on. Men's football already 2 weeks underway, and the Philippine U-22 Azkals is left with 1 match in the elimination tomorrow against Timor-Leste at the Binyan Football Stadium. And this follows a huge victory over Malaysia last week at the Rizal Memorial Stadium. And the young Azkals look to go back to the semifinals after 28 long years and hoping to achieve their best finish in SEA Games history. Here with us today to really tell us why this under-22 team is a special team, our ABS-CBN Sports football analyst, Darren Hartman. Darren, good morning.
Good morning.
First of all, thank you so much for being here. I know we talked earlier. You said that you've been covering all the football games every day. So it's been a busy schedule for you, and yet you make time for us. So maraming salamat. And I guess really we're here to talk about the future of Philippine football. Obviously, you've been an avid Azkal. You're part of the Azkal team, but you're retired now. You have your family.
Yes, that's right.
And we've had a few Azkals retire in the past few years as well. We have Phil Young husband, and you said that James is still playing, but he's about to retire in a few years. What can you say about the future of football in our country?
Well, I would say there's a bit of a generation gap. I mean, when you're in your 30s, that's quite mature already for a football player. Stefan Strock still does it. A lot of us are thinking, how is he still doing it? But of course, we're looking to bridge that gap, and this SEA Games, really, it's an under-22 competition. We're really looking for those future stars who can go on and push the sport to the next level.
Darren, you helped us identify. This is a special team, right? It's a young team, a lot of college players, unlike our opponents in the SEA Games. And you wanted to highlight maybe 4 guys here. I'll go through them one by one, and you tell our kapamilyas why these young guys are special. Mardiano of UE, what are your thoughts on this guy and his skill set, and what makes him part of the future of the sport?
Well, I think what makes Diano so interesting is the fact that he isn't an out-and-out defender. And I think that is showing the football community the versatility of the players who are playing in the UAAP. I mean, the UAAP, we've seen him play up front, we've seen him play in the middle, and rarely we see him play at the back. And already in this SEA Games, he has played across 2 or 3 positions across the back 4. And that's really important, because what we're looking for is people who can have prolonged careers in the sport. And if you can play only one position, you're limited. But if you've got a good understanding of the game and can play in more than one position, you're going to be a coach's dream in the future.
Pocholo Bugas.
Well, the thing with Pocholo is he comes from a rich history in terms of his family. His brother, a very good player, but with Pocholo, he just come off the under-18, under-19 campaigns, did really well, and it's good to see that the Federation has identified strong players in our youth national team setups and have called them up into the SEA Games under-22. And the next progression from there would be to play for the senior team, and we have to remember with Pocholo, he's still at high school.
Wow.
So, yes.
It's a young
He hasn't
team.
even entered
This is a
NCAA or
young team.
UAAP.
J.R. Suba.
Well, J.R. Suba is not a UAAP player, he's playing in the NCAA, and people have always compared the two. We have the university games where NCAA and UAAP teams meet, but at least we're seeing that there's a good balance of UAAP and NCAA players, and I think in the first 2 games he was one of the most exciting players when he got on the ball. And yes, we can have the professionals who are good touches, good at moving the balls, but you also need players who are exciting and get the fans up on their feet and get the fans going. That's exactly what Suba brings to the team.
And Harvey Gayoso.
Well, Harvey comes from a rich history of football. He's a great football player, scored plenty of goals, MVP, UAAP, and really there's a lot of pressure on him. He's also played out of position, but done a good job. And in the last game where he was seen in a more attacking position, he's helped, lead the team to that 1-0 victory against Malaysia. So 4 great players, and there are plenty more in the squad to talk about as well.
And before we go, I hear you have a special story about one of the players who's actually from Norway, but he's Filipino at heart. Can you tell us about that?
I think what the story is about Suerte, and for me, it's the second player and it's almost history repeating itself. Simone Rota, a good friend of mine, obviously not really featuring in the Azkals at the moment, but still playing his club football. But from an orphanage in Cebu, much like Simone Rota, from an orphanage, and was adopted by, I believe, a musical family in Norway, and then went on to progress his career there. Actually played for Norway's under-19s, and then opting to play for the Philippines at under U-22 level, and I feel that he has already said that this is where he would like to go on and pursue his football at senior level as well, representing the Philippines. And for me, there's other stories coming through also. In the under-18s, under-19s, there are children who are also adopted, and it's about showing people that it doesn't matter what walk of life you come from, football is an outlet, and you will always find a family in your teammates and in the community that supports you. So it's just fantastic to see so much growth in the national team and to see history repeating itself. Can we get another squad that can push further than our original Azkals that we're so familiar seeing? I think we will, and if we have a bit of luck tomorrow, and if things go our way, we could even be, setting new records too.
And I think that's why we love mentioning, all these young guys, all these names that hopefully will become household names in the future. Gayoso, Suba, Bugas, Diano. But you have guys like Shraki here. Amani Aguinaldo is here. How are they acting as, you mentioned family, how are they acting like big brothers to their younger teammates?
Well, I've played against Srock. I mean, he is a feisty character, but he's taken on a more senior role, and as he's matured, he's become a great captain. It's not easy to wear the armband for the country, but he has been a good mentor. Amani Aguinaldo is led by example, and the same thing. Amani is another player who come from a UAAP setup and is now applying his trade abroad, the same as Marco Casambre. So there are players in the squad who are now playing abroad but were developed in the Philippines, and it's inspirational. So the players who play alongside Srock and Amani are really inspired by the journeys that they have made, but also you could see in the game the leadership. I thought that Malaysia substitutions played in our advantage, and Stefan Srock and Amani Aguinaldo noticed that, and they obviously combined to create the goal. So they are a really big impact on this team.
All right, and Malaysia is a powerhouse in football, so beating them, I think, is almost like a gold medal for us, and we're still working our way up that ladder.
How do we make that happen? For all the kapamillas watching, and then they're so compelled with the story of the under-22 Azkals. Darren, what needs to happen so we can get that podium finish?
Well, as it stands at the moment, there are 3 teams on 4 points. And we are behind on goal difference by 3 goals. So if we were to score 3 goals against Timor-Leste, that brings us basically back on level terms with the other 2 teams. Cambodia and Malaysia are playing against each other. So whatever the goal difference is in that game, so if Malaysia win by 1 goal, we have to beat Timor-Leste by those 3 goals plus 2, so by 5 goals. However, should Cambodia and Malaysia draw, we only need to beat Timor-Leste. It wouldn't matter on how many goals we score. So if you are rooting for the Philippines to get out of the group for the first time in over 20 years, then if Malaysia and Cambodia draw tomorrow and we win, we're out of the group. If not, we need to get ourselves down to Binyan Stadium. We need to cheer, and we need to see a 5-6 goal thriller and good defensive performance. And I mean, Srock, if you're tuning in, a hat trick would help us as well. So.
You're very demanding, Darren.
Yeah, sorry, a bit demanding. But of course, we all want to see the Philippines go through into the semi-finals.
And we do have a good chance tomorrow. I think you mentioned that we have a pretty good chance against Timor-Leste. Is that correct?
Yeah, I mean, Timor-Leste's defence has been one of the more open defensive lines in the competition. They conceded 4 goals yesterday against Malaysia. Arguably, they could have scored a few goals themselves and kept the scoreline a bit closer for us, but it's more than possible. We have all the firepower. A lot of the players that we spoke about are attacking-minded players, so if we can get off to a good start tomorrow, I mean, who knows? But the thing is, the games are simultaneous, so we're going to have to keep an eye on the results. That's pretty much the FIFA standard. It keeps the excitement in the game.
Darren, just in case all these guys are watching, you can talk to them straight. You can tell Shraki to get that hat trick for the Philippines. What's your message for the team?
Well, my message for the team is it's been a long time coming. Many players have sacrificed a lot to get Philippine football to where it is now, and we're passing over the mantle to you guys. Everyone is believing in you. I spoke with your managers, with Dan Palami, with Ernie Nieras before, and they said that this is the team that we're going to believe in. And boys, you've made us all believe, and it's just going to be 90 minutes now, so just go out there and make us all proud.
That's the thing with sports. You know, it comes down to the last 90 minutes. No matter how many months or years to train, if you do well in those 90 minutes, if you don't do well, then I guess that's destiny also at the end of the day.
Yeah, and just in case you can't go to Binyan, you can join Bob Guerrero, Darren Hartman, and our entire team at ABS-CBN Sports. They will bring you all the matches, and hopefully we get the result that we are praying for.
Yes, I hope so.
All right, Darren, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Next up on the score, we'll talk about billiards and, of course, the legendary Efren Bata Reyes. Could this be Efren Bata's final stint in representing the country in the Southeast Asian Games? We'll talk about that when the score returns.
Filipino.